Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So lately a lot of you guys have been asking me what my thoughts are on the upcoming Symmetra buff and when, it's expected to come out, and what I think Blizzard should do to make it more effective and viable in competitive mode, etc. So I thought I'd just make this quick little video addressing that. So just to backtrack a little bit, a few weeks ago the Overwatch team released a developer update saying that they were looking at heroes like Mei, Hanzo and Symmetra. Now at that time I did think that Symmetra was only going to get a really small buff or a tweak, but it turns out in the latest developer update that the Overwatch team is really taking their time looking into what options might work for her, so it turns out that she might not just be getting a buff, but she might actually have a few of her abilities reworked as well. So I'd say don't expect that buff or rework to come until Season 9 probably. But yeah, things are definitely in the works, and I really hope that Blizzard can get it right this time because, a year ago they reworked Symmetra, saying that, they wanted her to be viable in all modes of competitive play, and we kind of know how that turned out because she's seen as basically a troll pick right now. So in terms of what I personally want to see in her so-called rework, I really think that Symmetra's problems right now come down to the simple fact that she's inconsistent. When you look at other support heroes such as Mercy, Moira, Ana, Lucio and even Zenyatta, they all have one thing in common, and that's that they provide consistent support for their team. Whereas when you look at Symmetra, there's a lot of times when she's not really doing anything because she's waiting to charge up her ultimate, and those are times when she can't provide sort of any support or utility for her team, other than her shield and turrets, which most people see as only being ideal for the first point of defense since they're not willing to run two healers with the Symmetra. So that's problem number one, in that she's inconsistent, especially when she doesn't have her ultimate up. So problem number two is that Blizzard sees Symmetra as being a builder type support class without any form of healing whatsoever. And this is problematic because you simply can't replace heals with shields that regenerate slowly over time, if you get what I mean. And given the fact that 3 support heroes isn't going to be the norm anytime soon, basically the main healer will have to rely on the other support player to keep them alive in most cases. But Symmetra simply can't provide that in her current state because she doesn't have immediate heals or shields for anyone. She has to rely on getting that shield gen, which even then it's not enough unless you stack it with like Torb armor or something. So that's the first area that I think Blizzard needs to work on with Symmetra, is to give her some form of consistent utility or support for her team. Honestly, her original secondary ability, which was, giving 25 shields to her teammates, wasn't really that bad, it just wasn't enough. So maybe that's something Blizzard could look into reworking into a kit, maybe by putting it on a lower cooldown or giving it a greater amount of shields. Now the other part of the kit which I think really needs a buff are her turrets, because they're very unreliable and they get destroyed instantly in their current state. Now a lot of you guys have felt the same way as well and have made some great suggestions on my other video in terms of how to make her turrets work better. For example, Tyler says that he'd like to see the range of her turrets increase a bit so that you don't have to jump around like a maniac trying to put them on walls and stuff, or put them in less obvious places. And that's a really simple but effective quality of life change that would really help her out. Another viewer by the name of Say Hi To Me Please says that they would like to see the slowdown reduced when she places her turrets, as well as making them activate quicker. As you can tell, there's a lot of ideas and ways to make her turrets better, and those are just a few suggestions. My own suggestion would be to allow her turrets to have a toggle mechanics so that you can switch between either damage output or providing heals for your team. Or even if it's not heals, maybe the turrets could give out some mini shields or something periodically to your teammates when you switch it on. So that concludes my thoughts on the upcoming Sim rework. Honestly, I think that those are the two main areas that Blizzard should focus on to make her more effective, per se. It's not even that she's garbage or unplayable right now, it's more so that her power levels can vary significantly. She can be completely useless one game when she's countered hard, and then completely dominate the next game if no one counters her, and that's something that Blizzard needs to balance out basically. Which is why I said at the start of this video that this rework needs to include some form of consistent utility for her, even if it's at the compromise of her other abilities, just so that she's not seen as a troll pick all the time. Now, to conclude, I really do hope that Blizzard gets it right and doesn't have a Mercy situation where she's being tweaked every 2 weeks. And more importantly, I hope that they listen to feedback from actual Symmetra players and not just those DPS players who think that they know what's right and wrong for Sim, because they don't really have experience with her, so they think they know what's best, but they really don't. And just for the record, I have over 500 hours of Symmetra in total, and I've reached GM in every season solo queue, so it's not like I'm talking out of my ass. These are my genuine thoughts on what I think is best for her and how she should be improved. So please let me know what you guys think, and whether you agree or disagree with my thoughts. I'd love to hear from you, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.